good day? I'm having a great day. I was just hanging out on the story cloud and wondering, have you ever been fishing? Because I just got back from fishing with my friends. I wasn't very good, but I had a great time, and that's all that matters. The reason I ask is because I have a story about fishing. It's called A Mouthful of Minnows, and the main character is a turtle named Alphonso. He has a pretty interesting way to fish. So grab your book and let's dive in. A Mouthful of Minnows by John Hare. Alphonso loved to fish. It was his very favorite thing to do. One morning, he set out to fish for some breakfast. "Good luck," said his friends. Alphonso is huge and he's bumpy. Well, he's waving goodbye to his smaller turtle friends. Let's see where he goes next. Alphonso swam deep into the pond. There he goes. Look at everything down here in the bottom of the pond. He tucked himself between some moss and an old tire. It's almost as big as him. Opened his mouth and stayed perfectly still, except for his tongue. Alphonso had a special tongue that looked like a yummy worm if you wiggled it just right. It does look like a worm. But fishing isn't easy, and not all fish would fall for his trick. These fish did not fall for it. Alphonso knew that a true angler had to be patient. Whoa! Alphonso just sits at the bottom of the pond with his mouth open and waits for food to come to him? I wish I could do that with my lunch. Sure enough, a little minnow approached. A delicious worm, said the minnow. Such a small fish did not interest Alphonso. That is a really small fish for such a big mouth. Then the little minnow said, "This worm is so big that I'm going to get my friends so we can share it." And he swam away. Alphonso looks a little mischievous. I wonder what he's planning. One tiny minnow isn't worth it, thought Alphonso. But a few tiny minnows sounds like a delightful snack. Uh-oh, the minnow is going to go get his friends. Soon, the minnow returned with 2 friends. They argued over who would get the first bite. Why, that would be me, thought Alphonso. He's got 3 minnows in his mouth. But as Alphonso prepared to chomp down on his seafood snack, he heard one of the minnows say, "Wait, we shouldn't be selfish. Let's share this worm with the whole school." The minnows swam off. Now we're talking breakfast, thought Alphonso. Alphonso looks really excited about his big breakfast plans. The minnows returned with their whole school. They all crowded into Alphonso's mouth. There's so many in there. They are crammed in, eager to take a bite of the worm. The whole school is in Alphonso's mouth now. I wonder what he's gonna do. And just as everyone was about to dig in, one little fish said, "Hey everyone, maybe we should invite Big Betty to take the first bite. She's big and slow, but doggone it, it's her birthday." All the The minnows look really excited about inviting Big Betty. And look, now we're on the inside of Alphonso's mouth. The other minnows agreed, and off they swam. Alphonso was getting very excited. I won't need to eat for days after this, he thought. A while later, the whole school returned with Big Betty. Alphonso waited for them to squeeze in around the worm. As he waited, Big Betty began to speak. Whoa, Big Betty is big. My, oh my, I am so glad to have all my children and grandchildren with me today, Big Betty said. Yes, sir, every one of my sweet babies sharing food with me. This is the very best birthday I could ask for. Oh, they're all one big family. Alphonso lost his appetite. Looks like Alphonso's thinking twice about eating the minnows. Big Betty! Big Betty! The worm is gone! One of the little minnows cried. Wait, it is gone! He pulled his tongue away. Looks like Alphonso might not be getting that breakfast after all. That's okay, said Big Betty. It's still a great day. Let's go find something else to eat together. The minnows are off to find some other food, but Alphonso looks really sad. Alphonso decided to head back to the surface of the pond. Who needs breakfast anyhow? He mumbled. Alphonso's gonna head back up now. But then he heard one of the minnows say, Big Betty, look, there's another big juicy worm. There is another big juicy worm. And Big Betty looks hungry. Oh no! The worm is on a fishing hook, and Big Betty's going to take a bite. Alphonso looks really worried. Big Betty, no! Alphonso shouted. Alphonso's reaching for the fishing line. And now he's got it, but he's being pulled up. I bet those kids were not expecting to catch Alphonso. Alphonso is so big compared to them, and they look scared. So scared that they're running away yelling, Mom! Dad! But they left behind a big jar of juicy worms. That was really brave of Alphonso to protect the minnows like that. Oh, it looks like Alphonso brought the worms to the minnows. That morning, Alphonso didn't catch anything, but that was okay. Because Alphonso's favorite part of fishing is telling a new fish story to his friends. And it looks like Alphonso is having a really fun time telling it. The end. What a funky fish story for Alphonso to tell his friends. I bet this fish story could teach us a thing or two about being selfless and kind, even if it means eating lunch a little later. Maybe Alphonso even made some new fish friends along the way. That's all for this time, friends. See you next time. Bye!